Sometimes the hardest thing to do is believe that the best is yet to come. In moments of failure, when life seems to throw its worst at you, it's hard to believe that there is something better ahead. When you feel like you've missed your chance, or you've messed up too many times, it's easy to lose faith. But today, I'm here to tell you something that will shift your perspective forever. You've never been more poised for greatness than you are right now. You see, a second chance is not just an opportunity. It's a divine gift that can reshape your life. It's the breakthrough you didn't see coming, the blessing that's been hidden in the lessons of your past failures. Second chances are not about what you've lost. They are about what is still ahead of you, just waiting for you to rise and claim it. Let me take you back to a moment in history, to a man who was familiar with failure, rejection, and the burden of his own mistakes. His name was Peter. Peter, one of Jesus' closest disciples, went from boldly declaring his allegiance to denying his Lord in the most humiliating way. 3 times he denied Jesus, and in his heart, he thought that was the end. He believed that his failure had disqualified him from ever being of value again. But what did Jesus do? He didn't condemn Peter. He didn't say, "You've messed up too much." Instead, he gave him a second chance. He asked Peter 3 times, "Do you love me?" And in that moment, Peter's shame was replaced with purpose. He went on to become a powerful figure in the early church, spreading the message of redemption to millions. Peter's second chance was not only a personal restoration, but a key to unlocking a blessing that impacted generations. And this, my friends, is the power of a second chance. It's not just about you. It's about the potential that God has placed inside you to do something greater than you can even imagine. You are not defined by your failures, you are refined by them. Every setback is a setup for a comeback, and your second chance at a blessing is waiting for you to step into it. Today, I want to remind you of something powerful. Your past does not have to define your future. We all make mistakes. We all have moments we wish we could take back. But those moments don't get to determine the course of your life unless you let them. There is a blessing, your blessing, waiting for you. A second chance isn't just about getting another opportunity to try. It's about seeing your life through the lens of faith. It's about believing that no matter what you've lost or what you've failed at, you are not finished. It's about understanding that your mistakes were not roadblocks. They were stepping stones to a greater destiny. This speech is not just words. It's a reminder that you still have time, you still have breath, and you are still worthy of receiving what has been promised to you. This is your moment to rise again, to step into the fullness of the blessing that was never meant to pass you by. And I want you to know, this blessing will find you not because of who you were, but because of who you are becoming. You may be wondering, what exactly is a second chance? What does it really mean for my life? A second chance is the opportunity to correct course, to rebuild, and to realign with your true purpose. But more than that, it's a gift of grace. When life knocks you down, when you feel unworthy, it's easy to think that the doors are closing. But what if I told you that sometimes the doors are closing because the ones God has for you are just about to open? A second chance is not just about doing things over. It's about doing them better. It's the grace to try again, but this time, with wisdom. The first time you attempted something, you didn't have the lessons you have now. Your second chance comes with a new understanding, a clearer vision, and a deeper faith. It's like planting a seed. The first time you plant it, you may not know the exact conditions it needs to grow. Maybe you didn't water it enough, or perhaps you didn't give it enough sunlight. But when you plant that seed again with the lessons learned, you know exactly how to nurture it to life. A second chance is the soil that allows your dreams to take root and flourish. I understand that for some of you, the idea of a second chance might be hard to accept. Maybe you feel like you've missed your opportunity. Maybe you think you've run out of time. There are so many people who walk through life carrying the weight of their failures, believing that they've ruined everything and that a second chance will never come. But I want you to hear this today. Your second chance is not something you have to earn. It's something you are worthy of receiving. It doesn't matter how far you've fallen or how many times you've stumbled. The truth is that God is a God of redemption, and He is always working behind the scenes to prepare you for the next season of your life. And if you're still breathing, it means there's still time to receive it. Your story is not over. In fact, your story may just be beginning. Why does a second chance matter so much? Because it's not just about what you've done, it's about who you are becoming. Each new opportunity is a chance for you to step into a version of yourself that you've never known before. Every mistake, every failure is simply a lesson that you needed to learn in order to unlock the potential within you. Think about it. A second chance isn't just for you. It's also for the people you are called to impact. The blessing you receive doesn't just stop with you. It spreads to everyone you encounter. Your testimony becomes a light to others who are struggling, a beacon of hope for those who feel like they've run out of time. But let me tell you, second chances require more than just waiting. They require faith and action. Faith that God is for you, and action that shows you believe in the power of that second chance. You cannot stand still and expect things to change. You must step forward, even when you don't know what the next step will look like. It's like walking into a room that you're not sure is safe, but trusting that the light will turn on just in time. Faith is the light that illuminates the path ahead. Action is the movement that carries you through. In this moment, I want you to take hold of the truth that your second chance is real. It's here, and it's waiting for you. Whatever you've gone through, whatever you've lost, whatever mistake you feel has disqualified you, it's time to believe in the power of new beginnings. You have the power to reclaim your blessing. You are worthy of that second chance. And today is the first day of the rest of your life, when you take a step toward the future you deserve. As you walk away from today, I want you to remember this. The best is not behind you. The best is ahead of you. Embrace your second chance. You are about to witness the greatest chapter of your life unfold before your eyes. Setting the tone. Understanding second chances. What is a second chance? Let's begin by defining what a second chance really is. A second chance is more than just an opportunity to try something again. It's a powerful gift of grace. It's the moment when you get to start anew, free from the weight of past mistakes, failures, or missteps. But here's the catch. A second chance isn't just a do-over. It's the chance to begin again, but this time with more wisdom, more understanding, and more strength than before. It's not just about revisiting old dreams, it's about seeing those dreams through a clearer, more refined lens. You may have stumbled along the way, faced rejection, or made mistakes that you thought would ruin your life. But now you are standing at the threshold of something new, something better, something more beautiful than you could ever imagine. That's the power of a second chance. It's the fresh air that lets you breathe again, the new beginning that reminds you that your past doesn't determine your future. So why is a second chance so vital to personal growth? Because personal growth isn't a straight path. It's a journey of twists and turns, peaks and valleys. Growth happens in the moments when you fail, when you fall down, and when you rise again. Each mistake, each setback, is a stepping stone that leads you to greater wisdom, deeper resilience, and a more profound understanding of who you are and who you're becoming. A second chance gives you the freedom to grow into the person you were always meant to be. It allows you to start again with the knowledge you've gained, the strength you've built, and the clarity that comes from walking through the fire and surviving. Without second chances, there would be no room for transformation, no opportunity for rebirth. It's through second chances that we learn to stretch beyond our limits, to go deeper, and to reach higher. Divine timing. Now let's talk about something that many people overlook when they think about second chances: divine timing. Second chances don't just happen by chance. They are not a mere coincidence or a stroke of luck. They are a divine orchestration, a moment when the universe, or for many of us God, steps in to say, "This is not the end. There's more for you. There's still time for you to fulfill your purpose." Second chances are not about doing things over. They're about doing things right this time. But here's the catch. They often come when you least expect them. They don't come when you've planned them out, when you've dotted every I and crossed every T. They come when you've learned the lessons you needed to learn, and when you're finally open and ready to receive them. In the Bible, the story of Joseph stands out as a beautiful example of divine timing and the power of second chances. Joseph's journey wasn't easy. He was sold into slavery by his brothers, betrayed, falsely accused, and imprisoned. He had every reason to give up, to curse the day he was born. But what did Joseph do? He remained faithful, trusting that there was more for him than the circumstances he could see. And then, when the time was right, when the divine timing was perfect, Joseph's second chance arrived. He was elevated to a position of power in Egypt, and he ended up saving his family and a whole nation from famine. Joseph's second chance wasn't about him redoing his mistakes. It was about him walking into the blessing that had been waiting for him all along. Second chances are often disguised as moments of despair or failure. They don't always look like opportunities when they first appear. Sometimes, a second chance feels like a setback, a delay, or even a denial. But it is in divine timing that those setbacks are transformed into comebacks, and those delays are revealed as detours to something greater. So, don't be discouraged if your second chance doesn't look like what you imagined. Divine timing is never late. It may not come when you think it should, but it will come exactly when you're ready for it. Trust in the process, trust in God's timing, and know that your second chance is part of a larger divine plan for your life. The fear of failure. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful obstacles that stands between us and our second chance, the fear of failure. When a second chance comes knocking, the excitement and hope are often followed by a cloud of doubt. What if I mess it up again? What if I fail once more? These thoughts are common, and they are part of being human. The fear of failure can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in the past, in the what-ifs, and in the could-have-beens. But here's the truth you need to hear today. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't get to where they are without experiencing failure. In fact, some of the greatest triumphs come from the greatest setbacks. Failure is the soil where success is planted. It's in those moments of defeat, disappointment, and discouragement that you gain the wisdom and the character that are required to succeed the next time. Look at Thomas Edison. The man who invented the light bulb famously failed thousands of times before he succeeded. But when asked about his failures, he didn't see them as setbacks. He saw each failure as a lesson. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison understood that failure is not a dead end. It's a step in the process. Every failed attempt is a piece of the puzzle. Every wrong turn a lesson in how to take the right one. When we fear failure, we hold ourselves back from the growth that comes with it. Failing is not a sign that you should quit. It's a sign that you are one step closer to success. When you're faced with a second chance, it's natural to feel afraid. But fear is not a sign that you shouldn't move forward. Fear is a sign that you should. Fear is often the signal that you are about to step into something greater, that you are about to move beyond the limits you've set for yourself. So the next time the fear of failure creeps in, remind yourself, failure is not the end, it's the beginning of something new. The most successful people in the world didn't avoid failure. They embraced it, learned from it, and used it as the fuel to keep going. Embracing the second chance. So what can we take away from this? A second chance isn't just a gift, it's an invitation. It's an invitation to trust, to believe, and to take action. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about seizing the moment you have right now. When your second chance arrives, don't let fear hold you back. Don't let past failures define your future. Don't let doubts cloud the beauty of the new beginning that's waiting for you. You have everything you need to succeed. The lessons you've learned, the strength you've gained, and the faith you've built are all part of the equation. Your second chance is your opportunity to step into the life you were always meant to live, It's time to walk confidently into your blessing, and I want you to believe, deep down in your heart, that the best is yet to come. In the next part of this message, we'll dive deeper into the power of taking action and how to embrace your second chance with boldness, knowing that this is your time. You are equipped, you are ready, and you are worthy of every blessing that is about to unfold in your life. The power of redemption. Biblical examples. When we talk about second chances, redemption, and new beginnings, there's no better place to look than the Bible. The Bible is full of stories of men and women who, despite their failures, were given a second chance by God. These stories serve as powerful reminders that no matter how far we've fallen, we can always rise again. Let's begin with Peter, one of Jesus' closest disciples. Peter's story is one of deep failure and profound redemption. He was bold, outspoken, and full of faith. But when the moment came that he was tested, he denied Jesus 3 times. He swore he didn't know him, and in that moment Peter was consumed by shame and guilt. Can you imagine the weight of that failure? Denying the one who gave you purpose, who called you out of the darkness and into his light? But Peter's story doesn't end in his failure. It ends in redemption. After Jesus' resurrection, he met Peter on the shore, and in one of the most beautiful moments in the Bible, Jesus asked him, "Do you love me?" 3 times Jesus asked Peter this question, 3 times to undo the 3 denials. Peter's redemption wasn't about erasing his mistakes. It was about Jesus offering him a second chance. Jesus forgave him, and in that forgiveness, Peter was restored. He went on to become one of the greatest leaders of the early church, preaching boldly and fearlessly, not because he was perfect, but because he understood the power of redemption. Just like Peter denied Jesus 3 times, but found grace and redemption, so too can you. Your failure does not define your future. Now let's talk about David, a man after God's own heart. David is known for many things: his courage in defeating Goliath, his reign as king, and his deep love for God. But David also experienced some significant failures. One of the most infamous moments in his life was his affair with Bathsheba. Not only did David commit adultery, but he also arranged for Bathsheba's husband, Uriah, to be killed in battle. This was a major moral failure, and yet, David found redemption through repentance. When the prophet Nathan confronted David about his sin, David didn't try to justify himself or hide from his mistakes. He didn't play the blame game. He repented sincerely, acknowledging his wrongdoing before God, and because of his repentance, God forgave him. David's story shows us that redemption doesn't come from perfection. It comes from humility, repentance, and a willingness to make things right. And finally, consider Saul, the man who later became Paul, the apostle who wrote much of the New Testament. Saul's life was one of religious zeal and persecution. He actively hunted down Christians, seeking to imprison and even kill them. He was a man driven by hate, but his encounter with Jesus on the road to Damascus changed everything. Saul was blinded by the light of Christ and heard his voice asking, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" At that moment, Saul's life was turned upside down. He was given a second chance. After being healed and baptized, Saul, now Paul, became one of the most passionate advocates for Christianity, spreading the gospel to nations and writing letters that continue to inspire and teach us today. Paul's story reminds us that no one is beyond redemption. No matter how far you've strayed, no matter how much harm you've caused, God's grace can reach you. Saul's transformation into Paul is one of the most powerful examples of how a second chance can completely transform your life. Personal growth. The power of redemption isn't just about receiving forgiveness from others. It's about embracing it within ourselves. A second chance requires personal growth. It requires the willingness to leave the past behind, to let go of the mistakes that haunt us, and to step boldly into the new opportunity that lies before us. Growth in the process of redemption comes when we learn the lessons from our failures, when we refuse to repeat the same mistakes, and when we strive to become better versions of ourselves. Redemption is not a passive act. It requires intentionality. It's about making a decision to change, to grow, and to become who God created you to be. But let's be clear, this kind of personal growth takes time. It's a journey, not a destination. You may find yourself slipping into old habits or facing new challenges, but remember, the power of redemption is not in the perfection of your actions, but in your willingness to keep moving forward, despite the setbacks. When you embrace the second chance, it means embracing the process. You will fall again, but the difference is, you will rise again. Personal growth is all about persistence. It's about understanding that you don't have to be perfect to receive God's love or to walk in His purpose for your life. Your growth doesn't come from avoiding mistakes. It comes from learning from them. Forgiveness. One of the most difficult aspects of redemption is forgiving yourself. We are often quick to forgive others, but we struggle with forgiving ourselves. It's easy to hold on to guilt and shame, to believe that we are unworthy of a second chance. But if you want to embrace the power of redemption, you must first forgive yourself. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you beat yourself up over mistakes you've made? How often have you replayed your failures in your mind, unable to let them go? The weight of unforgiveness towards yourself can be paralyzing, and it can rob you of the blessings that are waiting for you. But here's the truth. You are not defined by your past mistakes. When you give yourself permission to forgive yourself, you are allowing room for God's grace to work in your life. You are telling yourself that you are worthy of the second chance you've been given, and you are opening the door to the blessings that God has for you. Self-forgiveness doesn't mean that you forget the past or deny the hurt you've caused. It means that you release the power the past has over you. It means you are no longer a prisoner of your mistakes, but a free person who can step forward with confidence, knowing that the past doesn't determine your future. Forgiving yourself also means accepting that redemption is a gift, not something you can earn. It's a grace-filled gift that allows you to move beyond guilt, beyond shame, and into the fullness of what God has called you to. And when you forgive yourself, you can also forgive others. Forgiveness is the gateway to healing, to redemption, and to restoration. Embracing redemption. When we look at these biblical stories, we see that redemption is not just a spiritual concept. It is a personal transformation. It's not about erasing your past mistakes, but about giving you the strength to walk through your pain and emerge stronger on the other side. Redemption gives you the power to rise above your failures, to find purpose in your suffering, and to build a life that reflects the grace and mercy of God. You don't have to be defined by your past. God's redemption is bigger than your mistakes. Peter's denial didn't define him. David's sin didn't define him. Saul's persecution didn't define him. Redemption is what defines them, and redemption is what will define you. This is the message you need to hear today. Your past is not your identity. It's part of your story, but it doesn't have to be the defining part. You have a second chance. Take it. Embrace it. Your redemption is your new beginning, your fresh start. And once you accept it, you'll begin to see the blessings, the opportunities, and the growth that come from the grace of a second chance. So, what will you do with your second chance? Will you hold on to the past? Or will you step into the redemption and restoration that is waiting for you? The role of faith and patience. Faith in God's plan. When we talk about second chances, we cannot underestimate the role of faith. Faith in the divine timing, faith in God's purpose, and faith in His plan for our lives. Faith is the cornerstone of embracing redemption and stepping into a new beginning. Without faith, we may miss the very blessings that God has already set in motion for us. You see, life doesn't always unfold according to our timeline. Often, we're faced with circumstances that test our patience, our resolve, and our belief that things will get better. We may ask ourselves, why is this happening to me? Or, why does it feel like I'm stuck in this situation, waiting for a breakthrough that never comes? The answer, my friends, lies in trusting God's plan. There's a powerful scripture in Jeremiah 29:11 that says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. This verse is a promise from God, reminding us that His plans for us are not only good, they are for our ultimate welfare and success. God's plans often involve a process that requires us to grow, to learn, and sometimes to wait. But when we put our trust in His plan, we are assured that everything will work together for our good. Romans 8:28. Our second chances are part of that plan. They are not random, and they are not accidents. God has been preparing them for us long before we even realized we needed them. Trusting God's plan doesn't mean that we will always understand the why behind our circumstances. It doesn't mean that we'll always be able to see the full picture. But it does mean that we choose to believe that God is good, even when life feels uncertain. When we believe that God is in control, we open the door for His blessings to flow into our lives, sometimes in ways we never expected. Take a moment to think about your own life. How many times have you thought something was over, only to find out that it was just the beginning? How many times have you faced a challenge that seemed insurmountable, but with faith, you overcame it? Your second chance is not a coincidence. It is part of God's plan to bring you to a place of greater purpose, growth, and blessing. Trust in that plan, even when you don't fully understand it. Waiting for your time. Now let's talk about one of the hardest aspects of faith: the ability to wait. Waiting is a crucial part of the second chance journey. It's often in the waiting that we experience the most growth, but also where we experience the most frustration. It's easy to become impatient when we don't see the results immediately. We live in a world that values instant gratification, but God's timing doesn't always align with our sense of urgency. Think of the process of planting a seed. When you plant a seed in the ground, it doesn't sprout overnight. There is a waiting period, a time of unseen growth beneath the surface. The seed must break open. Roots must grow deep, and the plant must be nourished before it can push through the soil and reach the light. This process takes time, but it's necessary for the seed to grow into something strong and fruitful. Our second chance is similar to this process. We may not see immediate results. We may pray, we may work hard, and we may take steps forward. But sometimes it feels like nothing is happening. This is where faith and patience come hand in hand. Just as a seed takes time to grow, your second chance may take time to manifest. In James 5:7, the Bible tells us, "Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient about it, until it receives the early and late rains. The farmer knows that the fruit will come, but he must be patient, trusting that the rain, the soil, and the sun will work together to bring forth the harvest." Similarly, you must trust the process and believe that the right circumstances will come together at the right time to bring your second chance into full bloom. Patience is not about sitting idly by, doing nothing. It's about continuing to move forward in faith, even when you can't see the end result. It's about taking one step at a time, trusting that God is at work behind the scenes, even when you don't feel like it. And it's about believing that the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances will come at just the right time. If you are waiting for something, it's because something bigger is on its way. Have you ever noticed that when we wait for something great to happen, the waiting process often feels the longest? It's like the promise of something bigger is just beyond our reach, and we can't quite touch it. But here's the thing. Waiting is not a waste of time. It's preparation. It's building strength. It's laying the foundation for what is to come. When God is preparing something greater for us, He's not just going to hand it over to us without preparation. Just as a builder doesn't start constructing a house without the right blueprints, God doesn't start building our blessings without preparing us first. Waiting is part of the preparation process. It's in the waiting that we are refined, that our faith is strengthened, and that we are made ready for what lies ahead. Maybe you're waiting for that second chance to open up, waiting for a promotion, a new opportunity, healing, or restoration. Do not let the waiting make you weary. The fact that you are waiting is proof that something bigger is on its way. Trust that the waiting is not a sign of rejection, but a sign of God's preparation. You are being positioned for something beyond your imagination. And while you're waiting, use this time to grow. Use this time to strengthen your faith. Use this time to prepare yourself for what's coming. When the door opens, you will be ready to walk through it. The power of patience in faith. Patience is more than just an act of waiting. It is a reflection of trust in God's timing. And in our fast-paced world, where we often feel the pressure to rush, patience becomes one of the most powerful tools in our spiritual growth. Patience teaches us to surrender control to God and trust that His timing is always perfect. Psalm 27:14 reminds us, "Wait for the Lord, be strong, and take heart, and wait for the Lord." This verse is not just about passively waiting. It's about actively trusting. It's about choosing to believe that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of our lives even when we can't see it. When you exercise patience in your second chance journey, you are exercising trust in God. You are saying, "I know that God has a plan for me. I know that my waiting is not in vain. I know that He is making a way for me even when I can't see it yet." Faith and patience go hand in hand on the road to redemption. Faith gives us the confidence to trust in God's plan, while patience gives us the strength to wait for His timing. Both are essential for embracing the second chances that God has in store for us. So, if you're waiting right now, know this: something bigger is on its way. Trust in God's plan, be patient in the process, and have faith that your second chance is already unfolding. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. God is with you, preparing you for something greater than you can even imagine. Stay faithful, stay patient, and know that in His perfect timing, your second chance will come. The preparation for a second chance. What you can learn from your mistakes. If there's one thing that defines the human experience, it's that we all make mistakes. We fail, we stumble, we fall. But here's the truth. Failure is not the end. It is a lesson, a teacher, a guide. When we get a second chance, it's not a free pass to do things the same way as before. It's a gift, an opportunity to approach life with the wisdom gained from our previous failures. Many of us are haunted by past mistakes. The regret of a decision, the pain of a failure, the missed opportunity. We replay these moments in our minds, thinking, "What if I had done things differently?" But the beauty of a second chance is that it allows us to start fresh, to build on the knowledge we've gained, and to approach life with a new perspective. Learning from your mistakes is the first step in preparing for a second chance. When you reflect on your past failures, don't just focus on the pain. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Every mistake carries with it a lesson. It might be the lesson of patience, humility, resilience, or wisdom. It might teach you to handle money better, to improve relationships, or to approach challenges with a different mindset. Think of it this way: your mistakes are not your identity, they are your teachers. When you take the time to learn from them, you are equipping yourself for a brighter future. You can't undo what's been done, but you can choose to move forward with a new level of understanding. That's what makes a second chance so powerful. It gives you the chance to correct course and apply the lessons learned. Remember the story of Thomas Edison, who failed over 1,000 times before he perfected the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset we need to adopt. Failure is not something to be feared or avoided. It's something to embrace because it holds the key to your next success. So, as you prepare for your second chance, take time to reflect. Embrace the lessons of the past and recognize how they have shaped the person you are today. Your mistakes are stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. Preparation equals opportunity. As much as second chances are about grace, they are also about preparation. A second chance is not just about the opportunity to do something again. It's about being ready to maximize the opportunity when it comes. Think about it. Opportunity does not knock on the door of an unprepared person. It comes to those who have been preparing, whether consciously or subconsciously. So, how do we prepare ourselves for a second chance? We prepare by growing, learning, and developing ourselves, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. First and foremost, you must prepare spiritually. The foundation of a second chance is rooted in your relationship with God. As you seek Him and trust in His plan, He will guide you toward the opportunities that lie ahead. But this requires intentionality, spending time in prayer, meditating on His Word, and asking for wisdom to know what steps to take. Next, you must prepare mentally. Your mind is the battlefield for your future. The way you think shapes your actions, and your actions shape your outcomes. If you want a second chance, you must start by changing your thought patterns. Instead of dwelling on negative self-talk and doubts, start focusing on positive affirmations and beliefs. Remind yourself daily that you are worthy of a second chance, that your past does not define your future, and that God has more in store for you. Emotional preparation is equally important. Many of us carry emotional baggage from our past failures. We allow hurt, disappointment, and fear to weigh us down, preventing us from fully stepping into the new opportunities God has for us. But when you receive a second chance, you must be willing to let go of past hurts and embrace healing. Forgiveness is a powerful part of emotional preparation. Forgiving others, and perhaps more importantly, forgiving yourself, allows you to release the emotional weight that holds you back. Lastly, you must prepare practically. Second chances often come with new opportunities that require new skills or knowledge. This may mean going back to school, learning a new trade, or simply investing time in developing your talents. As you prepare for the blessing, ask yourself, what do I need to learn or develop to be ready for this opportunity? The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 24:27, prepare your work outside. Get everything ready for yourself in the field, and after that, build your house. Preparation requires effort, but it also requires vision, seeing the future you want to build and taking the necessary steps to make it happen. The role of persistence. Now, let's talk about persistence, the ability to keep going when it feels like nothing is happening. How many of you have ever felt like you were pushing with all your might, only to see no immediate results? It's easy to get discouraged when you've been working hard, praying and preparing, but the breakthrough hasn't come yet. This is where persistence comes in. Persistence is the refusal to quit. It's the willingness to keep moving forward, even when the road is tough, the results are slow, and the waiting feels unbearable. It's the understanding that success doesn't always happen overnight. It's often the product of repeated effort and faithfulness over time. One of the most powerful stories of persistence in the Bible is that of David. David was anointed king at a young age, but he had to endure years of hardship and struggle before he actually took the throne. He was pursued by King Saul, had to hide in caves, and faced countless battles. Yet, David didn't quit. He remained persistent in his faith, and eventually, he saw the fulfillment of God's promise. The key to persistence is this: you must keep going, even when you don't see immediate results. Sometimes your blessing is just around the corner, and all it takes is one more step, one more prayer, one more act of obedience. Don't quit before the breakthrough. Persistence is a seed that you plant today, and it will bear fruit tomorrow. Think about the story of the persistent widow in Luke 18:1-8. Jesus tells a parable about a widow who kept coming to an unjust judge, asking for justice. Despite being ignored and turned away, she kept coming back. Eventually, the judge relented and granted her request. Jesus used this parable to show the power of persistence, that if an unjust judge can be moved by persistence, how much more will God respond to our persistent prayers? If you're in a season where it feels like nothing is happening, don't give up. Persistence is key to unlocking the blessings that God has for you. The very fact that you're still standing, still fighting, still moving forward is proof that you're closer than ever to your breakthrough. Keep pushing. The preparation for a second chance is not about sitting idly by and waiting for things to happen. It's about actively preparing your mind, your heart, and your actions for the blessing that is to come. Learn from your mistakes, embrace the wisdom they offer, and use that knowledge to fuel your future. Prepare yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and practically. Know that your second chance is not just a random opportunity. It's a divine moment that requires preparation on your part. And when that moment comes, persistence is what will carry you through. Keep going, even when the path seems difficult. Trust that your second chance is worth the effort. Remember, second chances are not just about grace. They're about readiness. Are you prepared? Are you persistent? Are you ready for what God is about to do in your life? The answer lies within you. Keep preparing, keep pushing, and know that your second chance is on the way. It's time to walk into the future you've been waiting for. Transforming pain into power. Using past hurts as motivation. It's often said that pain is a great teacher. When we experience hurt, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, it feels like a weight that we can't bear. It feels unfair, undeserved, and sometimes even like an insurmountable barrier between us and the blessings we know are supposed to be ours. But I'm here to tell you today, your pain has purpose. When you're in the midst of pain, it's easy to fall into despair and wonder if you'll ever find joy again. You may feel like you're being broken by the weight of your circumstances. But don't let pain destroy you, let it fuel you. You see, your past hurts can serve as the very fuel needed for your next season of greatness. I know it doesn't make sense in the moment. We don't understand why we have to go through certain things. We don't know why certain doors close or why certain people leave. But when you look back, you will see that the very things that hurt you the most have shaped you into the person you are today and have positioned you for the next level. Think of people like Oprah Winfrey, who was sexually abused as a child, or Steve Jobs, who was fired from the very company he founded. Their stories of pain are legendary, but they did not let their suffering define them. Instead, they used their pain as motivation to rise higher. Oprah became a voice for those who are oppressed and turned her experiences into a platform for healing, empowerment, and success. Steve Jobs didn't let the rejection of Apple destroy him. He went on to create some of the most innovative products in history. These stories of people who turned their struggles into success aren't just inspirational, they're blueprints. They show us that our pain can push us forward if we allow it to. It can be the very thing that ignites a fire inside us that nothing else can touch. Let's take a moment to think about your own life. Have you gone through pain, betrayal, heartbreak, loss, disappointment? Instead of letting that pain control you, what if you used it to push you forward? What if you used it as a source of energy to fuel the greatness inside you? Your setbacks don't define your future. They set you up for a comeback. Your pain doesn't have to be a permanent label on your life. It's not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a powerful chapter where you take everything you've learned and turn it into strength. The very thing that hurt you will be the thing that helps propel you toward your destiny. You don't have to let pain defeat you. Instead, you can rise, stronger than before. Embracing the journey. The truth is, the process of healing and transformation can be painful. But in that pain, there is purpose. Nothing worth having comes easily, and the journey to a second chance is no exception. Many people look at success as a destination. They believe that once they reach the top, once they are living the dream, everything will be perfect. But I want to challenge that perspective today. Success is not just about the destination. It's about the journey. Every moment of struggle, every tear you've shed, every failure you've faced, those moments are preparing you for the future you've been waiting for. The journey shapes the destination. If you skip the struggle, if you avoid the pain, you miss out on the lessons that will equip you for the greatness ahead. Think about the process of building muscle in the gym. When you start lifting weights, it's uncomfortable. It hurts. Your muscles ache. But that pain is necessary for growth. The muscles don't grow unless they're torn down first and then rebuilt stronger. And the same is true for your life. There's a saying that goes, "Don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one." The strength you gain through the struggles of life is what will carry you into your second chance and beyond. So instead of resenting the pain, start embracing it. Understand that each moment is building you, shaping you, and making you stronger for what's ahead. The journey may feel long, and at times it may even feel like you're walking through fire. But remember, the refiner's fire is where the gold is purified. If you want to come out of your second chance shining with strength and wisdom, you must embrace the heat of the journey. Let me say this. You can't have a testimony without a test. If you want to walk in the fullness of your second chance, you have to be willing to go through the process. The test is painful, but it's necessary for your testimony. Embrace it. Learn from it. Trust it. The blessing in the struggle. One of the most profound truths in life is that the blessing is often found in the struggle itself. We think that the blessing is just on the other side of our hardship, once we get through the storm, once we get past the trial. But the truth is, the blessing is not just what we receive at the end of the journey. The blessing is who we become along the way. Think of the story of Jacob in the Bible. Jacob wrestled with God all night long. It was a painful struggle, but in the end, Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and he received the blessing of becoming the father of a great nation. The struggle itself was part of the blessing. The very pain of wrestling was what gave him the victory. The blessing isn't just what you get after the trial. It's what you become through it. It's your resilience. It's your character. It's your faith. It's the lessons you've learned and the person you've become through the struggle. When you're going through a difficult time, it's easy to see it as a burden, a weight that you want to escape from. But I want to encourage you today to shift your perspective. See the struggle as the soil in which your blessings grow. It's the training ground for your strength, the forge where your character is molded. Remember the story of Joseph, who was sold by his brothers into slavery, thrown into prison, and forgotten by those he helped. He went through unimaginable suffering, but every single moment of that pain was a part of his journey to greatness. The struggle prepared him for the throne, and when the time came, he was ready. The blessing wasn't just in Joseph becoming a ruler, it was in how the struggle shaped him into a leader, a man of integrity and a servant of God. The blessing is in the journey, the struggle, the pain, the setbacks. They're not in vain. They are all part of the divine process. You might not see it now, but every step is moving you closer to your divine destiny. As you walk into your second chance, I want you to remember one thing. Your pain has purpose. The struggles you've faced, the heartbreak you've endured, and the obstacles you've overcome are not in vain. They are preparing you for something greater. Don't run from the pain. Don't avoid the struggle. Embrace it, knowing that it is the very thing that will strengthen you, shape you, and position you for the blessing that lies ahead. In the struggle, you become stronger. In the struggle, you find resilience. In the struggle, you are refined and prepared for your next season. The blessing is not just in what you receive at the end of the journey. It's in who you become along the way. And I want to tell you today, you are becoming more than you could ever imagine. Your pain is transforming into power. You are stronger than you know, and your second chance is closer than you think. So rise up, embrace the journey, transform your pain into power, and get ready for the greatest season of your life. A call to action. Taking the step toward your blessing. Empowerment. Today, I'm not just here to inspire you. I'm here to empower you. I'm here to give you a call to action, a charge that will ignite your spirit and fuel your determination. Your second chance is waiting for you, but it's not enough just to acknowledge it. You have to step into it boldly, confidently, and without hesitation. Too often we find ourselves in limbo, waiting for a sign, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for everything to align before we take the first step. But I want to tell you something right now. The perfect moment is not going to come, you have to create it. A second chance is not about waiting for a magical opportunity to drop into your lap. It's about moving forward in faith, even when you don't see the whole staircase. It's about stepping out, believing that the road will unfold as you walk it. There's a divine invitation in front of you, an invitation to walk into your destiny. But this invitation isn't a free pass. It's not an excuse to be passive or to wait for everything to be perfect. It's an opportunity to claim what's already yours. God is calling you to move, not just sit back and wait for the world to change. Your destiny is waiting for you to step into it.
You have everything you need right now to begin your journey. You are not too old, too broken, too far gone. There is a blessing with your name on it, and all it requires is your willingness to move. So I want you to hear me clearly. It's time to get up and go after what's been promised to you.
A second chance is not a free pass. It's a divine invitation to walk into your destiny. Let that sink in. This is not a second chance to make the same mistakes. This is your divine invitation to step into a new season, to move past the barriers that have held you back, to rise above the failures of yesterday and to finally claim the life you were destined to live. This is your moment. It's time to stop second-guessing and start acting. No more hesitation. No more doubts. Take a deep breath, trust that you are worthy of this moment, and take the first step toward your blessing. You are ready. Taking responsibility. Now let's be real. A second chance means we have to take responsibility. That's the hard part. It's easy to point fingers, to blame others, or even to blame life for the hardships we've gone through. But I want to challenge you today to own your story, both the successes and the failures. Taking responsibility is not about shame or guilt. It's about empowerment. Yes, you made mistakes. Yes, you fell short. Yes, there were things you wish you could have done differently. But listen to me. Those mistakes are not the end of your story. They were simply chapters in a much larger narrative, and you are still writing that story. Your mistakes do not define you, but your response to them does. How will you respond to your past mistakes? It's time to release the weight of past failures and understand that you have the power to make better decisions today. The responsibility is yours, but so is the power to change. Don't let your mistakes be the reason you hold back from your second chance. Let them be the reason you rise up stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. Taking responsibility also means acknowledging your part in the successes that are ahead. Sometimes we wait for others to give us permission to succeed. We wait for someone else to give us the green light. But I want you to realize that you hold the key to your own future. You are the one who will unlock the door to your destiny. You are the one who has the power to walk into the blessing that's been set before you. Set clear intentions. Now I want to take a moment to get practical. Because the truth is, the power of a second chance is not just about inspiration, it's about action. If you want to step into the blessing that is yours, you must set clear intentions for your life. You must decide right now what you want your second chance to look like. What will you do with this opportunity? Take a moment to reflect, not on the failures of the past, but on the future you're walking into. Imagine where you want to be 1 year from now, 5 years from now. What does your second chance look like? Do you want to rebuild your career? Do you want to restore relationships that have been broken? Do you want to rebuild your health, your confidence, your faith? Do you want to rise above the doubts and fears that have been holding you back? Set your intentions for each of these areas. Visualize it. Speak it into existence. Don't just wait for things to happen. Make them happen. Ask yourself, what action steps can I take today to move forward toward my blessing? It could be as simple as picking up the phone and apologizing, applying for that job, going back to school, or stepping out of your comfort zone and meeting new people who can help you grow. Don't just wait for a miracle to fall in your lap. Start working toward it. Write down your intentions. Make them real. And then, every day, take one small action toward them. Every step forward is a step closer to your blessing. Action. Steps for the audience. Take responsibility. Acknowledge your role in both your failures and your successes. Own your story. Set intentions. Be clear about what you want to achieve with your second chance. Set concrete, actionable goals for the short and long term. Move forward. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start taking steps now, even if they're small. Embrace boldness. Walk into your destiny with confidence and courage. Know that you are not defined by your past mistakes, You are defined by your willingness to act in faith. I'm here to tell you today that your second chance is real. You are not too late. It is not over. You can walk into your blessing now. Take the step forward, knowing that God has already gone ahead of you. He's already preparing the way. He's already made the way clear. All that is left is for you to walk into it. You have been given a second chance, and this time it's different. This time you are stronger, wiser, and ready. So, take the step. Step into your blessing with boldness, confidence, and unwavering faith. Your best days are ahead of you, and your second chance is the key to unlocking them. Now go and take your place in the story that God is writing for you. The blessing is waiting. You are ready. Visualizing the blessing. I want to start by asking you a very important question. Can you see it? Close your eyes for just a moment. Take a deep breath and visualize the blessing that's waiting for you. Imagine it, feel it, experience it with all of your senses. What does your second chance look like? Maybe it's a new career, one where you are not just surviving, but thriving. You walk into a job that excites you, that challenges you, that brings you peace and fulfillment. Picture yourself receiving the recognition you deserve, climbing to new heights of success. Feel the satisfaction of knowing that you took the steps to create that reality. Maybe your blessing is in the area of relationships, restoring a bond with a loved one, healing a broken friendship, or even finding new, loving, and supportive people who uplift you. Visualize the connections, the laughter, the moments of genuine love and understanding. Picture the family you've always dreamed of, or the friend group that aligns with your values and vision. Or perhaps your blessing lies in personal growth and health. See yourself physically stronger, mentally sharper, emotionally balanced. Imagine waking up each day feeling energized, motivated, and confident. Picture your transformation, whether it's losing weight, running a race, overcoming a fear, or simply being at peace with who you are. The blessings that await you are as vast as your dreams, but they are specific to you. They are tailor-made for your journey. I want you to visualize them now, not as distant hopes, but as realities in motion. These blessings are not somewhere far off in the future. They are here, waiting for you to walk into them. You are not just hoping for a change. You are actively bringing that change into your life by believing that it is already yours. What you see in your mind, you will soon experience with your eyes. What you believe in your heart, you will soon live out in your life. Take a moment to fully embrace that vision. Can you see it clearly now? Hold on to that vision and know that it's not a fantasy. It's your future, ready to unfold. Walking into your future. Now that you have that vision firmly in your mind, I want to tell you something important. Your future is already in motion. You are not waiting for your second chance. It's already on its way. Your blessing is waiting for you, and all that is left is for you to walk into it. I need you to hear this with clarity. You are more than capable of stepping into your future. You might have doubts, you might have fears, but those doubts are not the truth. You are ready. You have everything you need to walk boldly into what's next. Your past does not disqualify you. Your mistakes do not define you. You are a person of purpose, and your time is now. Every single step you've taken so far, every challenge you've overcome, has been preparing you for this moment. You've been building strength whether you realized it or not. Every struggle, every setback, every tear has been part of the process. You are not the person you were yesterday. You are better, stronger, wiser, and more capable of stepping into the blessing that awaits you. The second chance is not just an opportunity. It is your birthright. It is already yours, and you are more than ready to step into it. You've been through the fire, and now it's time to rise up and walk into the future you've dreamed of. So stand tall. Hold your head up high because the second chance you've been waiting for is here. Your blessing is waiting for you to step into it, and you have everything you need to make it happen. Be open to receiving. But here's the most crucial part of the journey. You must be open to receiving. I know it sounds simple, but this is where so many people struggle. We spend so much time focusing on what we can do, how we can act, how we can make things happen. But we often forget that receiving is just as important as doing. Sometimes we stand in our own way. We hold back because we feel unworthy. We tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that we don't deserve this blessing, or that we're somehow not ready for the life that's waiting for us. But I want to remind you today, you are worthy. You are more than capable of receiving the blessings that God has in store for you. The blessing cannot come to you if your hands are closed. Open your hands and your heart, because what is meant for you is already on its way. But you have to be willing to receive it. You have to trust that God wants you to prosper, that He has good things in store for you, and that you don't have to do it all alone. Let go of the doubt, let go of the fear, and open yourself to receiving the fullness of what God has for you. Open your heart to the relationships, the opportunities, and the peace that are just waiting to pour into your life. When you make the decision to receive, you position yourself for a life that you never thought possible. There are blessings on the other side of fear. There are breakthroughs on the other side of hesitation. And today, I want to encourage you to say yes. Say yes to what's waiting for you. Say yes to the love, the success, the peace, and the joy that are ready to fill your life. You deserve it, and you are ready for it. I want to leave you with this thought. The blessing is already here, and you are ready for it. There is no waiting anymore, no one day or someday. Your second chance has arrived, and it's time to walk into your future. You are not defined by your past mistakes. You are not limited by what you've been through. You are more than capable of stepping into the life you've always dreamed of. Now take a deep breath, stand tall, open your heart, open your mind, and step boldly into the future. Your blessing is waiting for you, and you are more than ready to receive it. This is your time. This is your moment. The blessing is waiting. You are ready. As we come to the close of this time together, I want to leave you with a final thought, a reminder of your power, your potential, and the amazing future that is already in the works for you. Your second chance is not just about starting over, it's about starting better. You see, when you receive a second chance, it's not a reset button to undo the mistakes of the past. It's a launch pad for a better future. It's an opportunity to rise higher, to be stronger, to be wiser, and to approach life with a deeper purpose and a renewed sense of direction. This time, you'll walk in a new level of faith. This time, you'll make decisions from a place of wisdom and insight, knowing that you've been through the fire and come out as gold. I know that the road hasn't always been easy. Some of you have walked through valleys of doubt, hurt, and disappointment, but that doesn't define you. The truth is, your past was merely preparation for the greatness that lies ahead. Your second chance is the gateway to something greater, a life lived on purpose, a life lived with clarity and conviction. Let me remind you, you are not where you've been. You are where you are going. Your past mistakes are not a reflection of who you are. They are merely stepping stones, teaching you lessons that will help you rise. Every day you wake up, you are walking into your destiny. And this time, you are walking with purpose, knowing that the best is yet to come. Your second chance is your moment to show the world, and more importantly, to show yourself what you're truly made of. This is the moment you've been waiting for. You are ready. So here's the challenge I want to leave you with today. Don't just wait for your second chance to unfold. Act on it. Take that step forward. Start where you are, with what you have, and with the knowledge that your second chance is already on its way. Take responsibility for your life. Don't sit in regret. Don't sit in fear. You have the ability to rise up and take control of your future. I challenge you today to make that decision. Make the decision to step into your destiny. Every decision you make moving forward will either move you closer to the blessing or keep you stuck in a place of fear and hesitation. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for another perfect moment. Take action today, because the blessing you've been waiting for is already unfolding. and it's time to take hold of it. You are worthy of every good thing that is coming your way. You have been chosen for this moment. This is your time, your second chance, your season of greatness. I'm challenging you today to step into it, to walk with faith, to leave behind anything that's held you back, and to move forward into the life you've always dreamed of. This is not just a second chance. This is your divine invitation to walk into your destiny. Embrace it, own it, live it. Let me pray with you as we close this moment in time together. Father God, I come before you today with a heart full of gratitude for this moment of renewal. I thank you for giving us the chance to start again, for showing us that it's never too late to walk into our destiny. Lord, I pray that you fill each person here with your strength, your guidance, and your wisdom. Lord, I ask that you bless each heart that is ready to receive the second chance you have for them. May they walk forward with courage, with faith, and with a renewed sense of purpose. May every step they take lead them closer to the life you have ordained for them. Let them not be held back by fear or doubt, but let them step boldly into the future that you have prepared. We trust in your plan, and we give you all the glory for what is to come. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. As we conclude today, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed. You are on the verge of something great. You've been given a second chance, a divine opportunity to move forward with new strength, new perspective, and a new purpose. It's not just about trying again. It's about embracing the future that is waiting for you with open arms. I want to remind you that this is your time. You don't need to wait any longer. Your second chance isn't something that happens in the future. It's happening right now. It's time to take action, to believe in the blessing that's already yours, and to step boldly into the life you were meant to live. As you walk forward, remember that you are worthy of every blessing, every opportunity, and every success that is heading your way. You've been through the storm, and now you are stepping into your season of greatness. Don't let fear or doubt stop you from walking into your future. Embrace your second chance with confidence and courage. I believe in you. Your second chance is not just a chance. It's a blessing, a breakthrough, and a new beginning. So go forth with confidence. Step into the life you were born to live. The best is yet to come. And always remember, you are more than ready for this moment.